Guys, Johnny Somali was just destroyed in court. Life after trial by Atozy. We're gonna look at this. Yes, our favorite nuisance streamer and soon to be jail goer Atozy. Not Atozy's. Johnny Somali is fucking cooked. Yeah. I've heard a few things. I don't know the full details, but he got absolutely obliterated in court. So I want to look at this, right? We still got to follow our favorite little fly, maggot, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, so we're going to look at this. Oh wait, it has a chat there. I guess it was live streamed at one point. Doesn't necessarily matter. Yeah, we're going to look at this. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Here we go. Here we go. I'm scared.
Massive Johnny Somali update because just a few hours ago, one of the last trial dates for Johnny Somali just ended, and it seems like he got absolutely destroyed in court. Like, it went really, 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 really bad for him. So I guess we'll just recap and figure out what's going on, because it seems like there'll be some labor imprisonment here. So, oh boy. I was not able to attend to this one because I'm currently attending the whole TikTok psychic court case. So, because of Gabe, he sent two people there, one Korean translator and one English speaking person. And they were there to cover everything and give me a full document, or basically a transcript of everything that happened in court. So we're going to be going through that today as well. So I know I streamed earlier today where I went through the transcript of the TikTok psychic case, but now we're going through the Johnny Somali one. We do a little bit of multi.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I thought we went over this dude's BS, but apparently not. Why would you say such a thing? He's not even been in jail yet. I don't even know how he has survived this long, and who's like feeding him. Is he still his gay best friend? Who's carrying this man's like expenses and stuff? Because as far as I'm aware, he's not in jail yet at all.
Tasking apparently. So what happened? Well, at 5:20 p.m., this is actually a pretty late court. Court opens. At 5:23 p.m., Johnny enters the court, and this is apparently the earliest appearance to date. He's wearing a black suit this time and glasses. So probably the same outfit as last time. No MAGA hat this time. At 5:27 p.m., the interpreter enters, and then Johnny's lawyer enters at 5:28 p.m. Then at 5:29 p.m., judge calls Johnny and lawyer to the stand. So now it's real for him. At 5:30 p.m., they say, in the deepfake case against Johnny, prosecutor submits a correction to the date and the time of the crime, which...
Don't tell me they're not gonna drop the... Don't tell me, please tell me actually, they're gonna not drop the deepfake stuff. I'm assuming 3 years in prison.
happened 2 days earlier than stated in the indictment at midnight. So Johnny thought that he was gonna have that charge dropped, but instead of dropping the charge, they just made a slight amendment to it. Johnny posted a video the other day saying, "How I got a charge dropped." According to this, that charge was not dropped. It's still there. So I don't know what happened. Regardless, Johnny asks for an explanation of the date change. Prosecutor asks for confirmation of the date change. Johnny denies it took place on the 28th of October. It actually happened on the 31st of October, 2024. This happened ages ago. Like, he's been in Korea.
Wait. Here comes... He's been there how long now? How long has he been there, like? A year, two?
For over a year. No, I don't sleep a lot.
Over a year. Oh, over a year, guys. Over a year. We've been at this for over a year now, and he's still not in jail, guys.
As you noticed, that's kind of how you upload every day. You just don't sleep that much. Anyway, the judge corrects the record regarding the dates and the deepfake crimes. And the Jungmann deepfake charge, that one remains in effect. So actually, I take that back earlier. He thought that the Jungmann charge was dropped. No, it's staying in place. It's right here. So that's not looking too good. So the judge.
Interesting, but didn't he settle with the person that he did a deep fake off? I guess that doesn't necessarily change anything. That's interesting. Huh.
Corrects the record regarding the dates of the deepfake crimes, and the Jungmann deepfake charge remains in effect. The deepfake settlement was apparently not worth the paper it was written on. Because remember, they had this whole settlement where they were like, okay, we'll drop each other's charges. Right, guys? Right? But apparently, the prosecutor and the judge have to accept, or else, yeah, nothing's gonna happen.
Interesting. So the prosecutors just said, you know what? We're not going to accept that. Fuck off. That charge is not going to be dropped. Interesting. Interesting. Well, no settling happening in this case. Yeah, that dude's cooked. That's definitely... This smells more and more like finally, like jail time.
So that's crazy. So the prosecutor is asking for a sentence of 3 years imprisonment with labor and a fine of 150,000 won, which is
wow. Jail, 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 jail. Jail. Please, thank you. That's amazing. Wow. Awesome. So jail, labor, and a money fine. Well, bro is working his way out of prison for 3 years, I guess. Well, it's not decided yet for 100%, but yeah, I think we've got it. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we've got him.
essentially the max fine he can get, which is like 120 bucks. But he's not going to foreigner prison. So he's going to Korean prison if the judge gives him a guilty verdict now. So you have, yeah, that's what the prosecutor is recommending. So the prosecutor wants 3 years with labor. Then on top of that, 2 cell phones will be seized as evidence and they will remain confiscated, so he won't get his phones back. And then additionally, which is pretty crazy, the prosecutor wants to add him to the S offender registry in South Korea.
Wow, another one. Wow, yeah. Actually, yeah, I mean, yeah, kinda. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Korea for 5 years. Yeah, they're putting him on the register for 5 years. So I guess he can be doing the S offender shuffle in prison while doing labor if he's actually given a guilty verdict by the judge, because that's coming up now soon. So you have employment restrictions, personal information disclosure. So yeah, what the registry gives him is employment restrictions. So if he goes to prison there and he has to do labor, he's actually restricted on what kind of labor he can do because he's on that registry, if they actually put him on that registry.
That means any job that he could do that has like women there, he basically can't do. Basically, if it has like women, children, whatever, he can't do that. He can't do that. It's over. He can't do that. Bro would to drop the soap. Bro is gonna drop the soap. That's interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. That he's cooked.
And then you have class attendance restrictions. So overall, that will just affect his imprisonment. So he can't do the cushy jobs, and apparently he can't do the vocational training if he's on that list and he goes to prison. So there are a bunch of ifs. This is just what the prosecutor is recommending. So that was said. So then Johnny's lawyer went up and had his closing argument. So the closing argument from Johnny's lawyer was Johnny's ignorance of Korean culture led to attacking shopkeepers. he blamed the noodle. The noodle incident was blamed on his ignorance of Korean culture.
That makes no sense. What? Yeah. Yeah, right. Ignorance and culture in the United States, of course. You can't just pour noodles all over the cashier, right? Because like different different cultural norms. What is this man talking about? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, nobody believes him that.
Dude, come on. And then he claims that Youngman doesn't want punishment. That was the note they wrote, right? So Youngman doesn't want the punishment. And then claims Bong Bong provoked it and also showed the video. So by them going, oh, hey, look, but Bong Bong did what we did, that's them admitting to doing it. So I don't know what kind of defense that is.
Admission of guilt as well. Who is the defense for this man? Who also like, oh, they did it, so we did it, so they did it too. So like, what's the defense here? What's the defense? Oh, this person shot somebody, so I also shot somebody. What kind of defense is this?
But hey, so at 5:37 p.m., Johnny speaks. And I am paraphrasing here a bit because obviously this is going through a few people and then getting to me. But this is pretty much what he said. We had two different people type down and we compared the notes and it looked pretty accurate. So, or both were pretty much identical. So he says, I sincerely apologize for my actions in Korea. I express remorse for the incident for which I was charged. I have been held captive in Korea for 1.5 years, during which time I committed no
Captive? Captive? Huh? What do you mean captive? You just couldn't leave because you committed crimes. Huh? That's very odd. That's weird. Hi, Cricket. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hello. Hi.
crimes. And I learned to integrate into society during that time. Dude, you were running around in your underwear. You were prank calling the police. Nothing about your behavior showed that you were integrated into Korean society. Like, come on, dude. Don't even, like, all right, whatever. So he goes on. He says, I did some foolish things under the influence of alcohol, and I realized the consequences. I sincerely apologize for this. Okay, so he's blaming alcohol. He's not really taking full accountability here.
Oh, it was the alcohol. Well, if that excuse worked, there will be some problems here to certain crimes with involving women. Or cheating was the alcohol, of course. Sorry, but that doesn't work anymore.
And then he follows it up. Having been born and raised in the United States, I did not realize how serious the consequences of these actions, which would not be considered criminal in the United States, could be in Korea. Dude, commentary channels have been telling you since 2023 that this is an awful idea to be doing in Japan, in Korea, in Thailand, and any of the countries you're traveling to. Once you leave the United States,
Israel as well, because he was there too, so that makes sense.
Guess what? US rules, they don't apply anymore. Sorry, you left our borders. You have to obey the laws in the country that you're currently in. You don't act out in a country you don't know the rules in. And you definitely don't act out in a country that is way harsher on crime. Like, in reality, yes, if he threw noodles around the US, there wouldn't be, like, what? Maybe they'd, like, at worst case, they'd be like, okay, disturbing the peace. He wouldn't get anything in the US. But if you goof around and go to Asia, you'll find out. Like, come on. But he continues. I reached an agreement.
This overall is also just a retarded argument. I mean, think about it. Oh, I'm gonna act completely like a piece of shit because I can act like a piece of shit in my country. I'm gonna act like a piece of shit in somebody else's country. Yeah, totally reasonable. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all.
With Lee Jong Chan, which is, oh, what was his name? That's the guy he did the settlement with. I forgot what his streamer name was. But he reached an agreement with him regarding the two deepfake cases, and he no longer seeks punishment. Again, what he didn't consider here, Youngman, that's correct. So he reached an agreement with Youngman, and what he, I guess, didn't consider, and what we've been saying the whole time is the prosecutor and the judge has to accept that, or else, I mean, that paper is worthless. So, yeah. And Bong Bong made it clear in court that she herself was unaware that distributing deepfake videos was a crime and initially viewed them as not S content.
Buddy, sending unsolicited pics is a crime in most places.
But as a funny image. So, okay, Bong Bong doesn't see it as S content, but as a funny images. If she, a Korean, didn't recognize the same act as a crime, how could I, an American, have known it was? Also, when I asked Bong Bong whether she had the
Those arguments make no sense. None of this makes sense. What are these? So basically, even if they settle, the prosecutor and the judge don't have to accept that. I did not know that. That's interesting. See, you even get some court knowledge here. That's interesting.
defendant's consent to distribute the videos, Bong Bong replied, no. So, again, he's kind of using that same argument. He's going like, but she did what I did. And he's saying that she did it. So then indirectly, he's also saying that he did it. So, I don't know what's going on there. Then, okay, but he continues by saying, the law is unfair since the police didn't do anything when I tried to report Bong Bong. All I'm asking is for the law to apply fairly. I want to appeal the prosecution and the police.
Well, that doesn't change anything. Okay, so the lady gets punished. Let's argue the lady does get punished the same way he does, right? For that particular thing, right? You're still getting punished. So you're still not getting away. You're still not getting away. This means nothing.
That's a little late though, because apparently both of them are done with their jobs. Like the police were done about a year ago, and the prosecutor just finished her part. But he continues by saying, it's unfair if Bong Bong and I receive different punishments. I'm still young, and I want to see my family and go home. Please show some leniency. Dude, why didn't you come into court for the first day, behaving, actually showing remorse, and you would have...
Please show some leniency. Gets the shit beaten out of him and continues. Gets called out for it, continues. Show some leniency. Gets the shit beaten out of him multiple times. Still does not recognize that what he's doing is... nobody's believing him. I don't think the judge and the persecutor are believing him in any way, shape, or form. If they do, they're stupid. Right? He's been like told multiple times throughout his visit in Korea that he should stop. He did not stop. Didn't appear in court. If he did appear in court, he made a mockery out of it. No.
Probably gotten out of here, like, pretty quickly. But instead, he showed up late, drunk, with a Trump hat. Before the court, he, like, threatened the judge and the judge's family. Like, this guy has done everything in the worst way possible because he's just so desperate for attention on the internet. And where's this got him? Absolutely nowhere. Apparently, the prosecutor wants him in prison for 3 years with labor. So that's where this behavior gets you. Like, it's so not worth it. But I don't know. It's not like other people have been kind of telling him for years now that this is where this is going to end up.
Not to mention that he's been doing it in other countries, right? Not to mention that he's been doing it in other countries and he just keeps going. He just keeps doing it. No, no, no. Reject this idiot. No. He's been doing it the entire time and now he wants to show remorse. He only wants to shows remorse because now he realizes, worst case scenario, he's not getting out of this. And rightfully so. I also want to see him in jail.
So yeah, he's asking for leniency. So the judge asks him, "Do you want a swift decision?" And he went, "Yes." So yeah, he set the sentencing date for April 15th. That's not swift at all. A swift decision is normally like 2 weeks. Do you want a swift one? Yes. All right, here's a not swift one. Okay. So apparently the judge gave Johnny the side eye when Johnny talked about not knowing Korean culture. So it's just him deflecting. He's trying to find excuses. Like, come on, dude. Are you not a little...
In my opinion, it's just that simple. Jail. With labor, it's going to be hard physical labor. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be at least physical labor with no women and children around. Nobody that could be affected by his potential, right? Because he does get the sexual crime stuff. But yeah, it is over. The judge is so cool. Based judge, incredibly based.
too old for this right now? You're at their mercy. Why are you goofing around? Why are you not taking full accountability? He should have just fully locked in like over a year ago, but here we are. So apparently, a quote from someone in the audience was, "While Johnny was talking, I was thinking, this is not an apology, and I'm pretty sure the court isn't going to take it as one either." The judge was not impressed by the no apology. He was flippant during his closing statements, but Johnny left court with the face of, apparently he looked a little shell-shocked. So, I don't think he was...
Well, I would be shell-shocked too if I received news that, I might be going to jail. He does look like an S-offender. I mean, he kind of does. I don't know. Ugly bastards are usually thin, fat, aren't they? I guess this one's thin. It's thin, ugly bastard.
A fan of the recommended sentence here. So, from everything I've heard, the judge normally lands pretty close to the recommended sentence of the prosecutor here. So, anywhere from 2 to 4 years is what I'm hearing right now. If the recommended sentence is 3 years. So, yeah. This will be very interesting. The only problem is he hasn't given any reason for them to give him any leniency at all. So it's not like the judge is going to really want to give him a light sentence if the prosecutor is recommending a 3-year sentence with work and putting him on the S offender registry in Korea. That's crazy. Well, I guess that's what happens when you F around and find out. So, April 15th, we'll finally know what happens. But now we know exactly what the prosecutor wants. So,
anyways, that just simply means now we just have to wait. Now we just have to wait to like mid-April to see if this man goes to jail, and I'll be here for it. I'll be here for it. I hope 3 years with labor. on the offender list. It just makes sense. Get this guy out of here. I don't think there's anything he can do to save himself. I really hope they get his and that's that. It's really that simple. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.